All right. Hey, everyone. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Genevieve Maroney, and this is Angela Schott, and she's coming to you live to share some great takeaways and tidbits on how she's busted through her weight loss plateaus, as well as has become the queen of her kitchen. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear and for you to share out some of these great takeaways and how you got to that place. So yeah, Angela, do you want to just kick off and let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do, that kind of thing?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm an elementary music teacher. So very, very busy with chasing little kids around all day. And I have one of my own at home. She's 5. I chase her around all night. And yeah, I joined in with your program, your Up Level Pro when was that, Jen? Was that the end of summer?
No, it was in June.
Was it in June? Okay.
Yeah.
Going fast. So I've been kind of on this health journey for a few years now, but really felt like there were pieces missing. And then joining in on your platform kind of helped lock some of those pieces into place for me. Then we headed into the Food Fix Challenge in February. And that was kind of the game changer, I think.
So how were you feeling before doing that challenge? And we'll talk a little bit about what the challenge entailed in that too.
Yeah.
But how were you feeling beforehand?
Overall with my health focus, I was feeling pretty good. I've been working a lot on changing my habits over the past year. And really focusing on getting daily movement in with some short workouts in the morning. I started introducing yoga at lunch, which totally helped. Yeah, helped my anxiety brain, helps just reset for the afternoon, and has really helped my overall fitness and mobility, which is awesome. But still struggling with some food issues. Like we've all been going through some like food allergies that have been popping up. So trying to navigate that, trying different, not diets, but different, taking out gluten for a bit, taking out nightshades, trying to navigate all of that. And I will admit my stress levels were pretty high at that time of year. Heading into report card season is always stressful. Right before spring break is always stressful. So just hanging on, some pieces doing really well and other pieces just kind of floating. So I knew it was a good time to try something at the next level.
Awesome. So the Food Fix Challenge, for anyone who isn't familiar with what it was, is inside Up Level Pro, which is the private membership group. We ran a nutrition challenge where we literally cut out all inflammatory foods, the most common inflammatory foods from our diets for 10 days, and kind of walked that process together and to see what we got at the end. And really what it is it's a big piece about gaining knowledge for what food works for you and what foods don't work for you or they work against you. So it's really about making powerful choices and learning a lot about yourself along the way. Would you agree with that, Ange?
Oh, totally. And I love what you said about going through it together, because having that group for me, for the added accountability, was super important to keep me motivated and keep me on track. Because I'm not going to lie, there were times when I just wanted to throw in the towel, like, this is too much, this is too hard. This is not for me, but I wanted to push through to the end. I wanted to stay accountable to the group, but also stay accountable to myself. And yeah, a lot of self-exploration, a lot of curiosity about what was coming up for me during that process. I had a lot of resistance and had to just sit with that. You know, why do I want to rebel against this? Why do I, or why do I, why do I feel I need to turn to this at this time? It was really interesting, and it was really hard, and it didn't feel good for a really long time. I don't think I started feeling good until like 8 days into the challenge. And I was questioning that because all these other people are saying, okay, it's day 4, I feel great now. Oh, yay, my energy's kicked in at day 3. And here I'm plodding along going like, seriously, when? Like, why? But I just
we are all different too with when we'll kind of hit that point. So the body goes through like a detoxification process as you're eliminating all this stuff, right? And it has to recalibrate and rid itself of the toxins and the inflammation that a lot of past conditioning may have stressed the body with. So like anything, with any big change that you're making in life, you'll go through those periods of uncomfortableness, of resistance, of wanting to throw in the towel. And that's usually that cusping point of hitting a new level of growth or whatever it is that you're looking for, right? So for people who are, exercising and they just feel like they're not getting anywhere, they do a simple tweak with their regime or something else in their daily habits or nutrition, and bam, they hit past that plateau just like you have, and they accelerate to a new level. So this is the same sort of thing. When you're ready to throw in the towel, that's the turning point.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that did keep me going, is knowing that, right? Knowing about your own upper limit and what waits beyond that if you can just like break through.
Exactly. Yes. So you learned a lot, it sounds like, from that challenge. What do you think you could have done this on your own?
I want to say yes, but probably not. I probably could have done a certain degree of it on my own, but I really appreciated the group check-ins, people posting in, sharing recipes, sharing how they're feeling, sharing the process. To know that I wasn't alone in feeling not great, to know that there was going to be better days ahead. And you did something that I thought was really beautiful, Jen, which was to create that 10-day journaling to go along with the process. And I know that was optional, but that was invaluable for me, because I could get all those thoughts out of my head down onto paper. So to get that out of my body, to be able to look back and reflect on it, and then coming out the other side, getting to recount the whole journey. So I know that moving forward, should I do this again, which I probably will, I can refer to that and go, okay, right, I remember this part sucked, but that part is great. And that's going to help push me through to the next bit too.
Yeah, and you can then, what I love to do is look back at my journaling from past rounds that I've done of this. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have a forewarning of, oh yeah, day 4 is, for me, day 4 is usually my toughest day with symptoms. But I know that's where I break through. So it's almost like you have a bit of foresight of what's coming. So, and you might find you follow the same sort of pattern each time you go through. Some rounds might be a little less intense with the detox side of things. And
I hope I will feel better, like more by day 4.
Well, and after, because you've done the clean sweep now, and if you're sticking with some of those healthier habits or healthier food choices, then there won't be as much gunk to clean out of the system next time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I was also having a lot of anxiety around the challenge, and also life in general. It was a pretty rough week period. So I'm sure that stress that I was already experiencing and the anxiety I was already experiencing probably all compounded and sat on top of each other.
Well, and you were sick too. You had a cold or something too through it. So
yeah, when my daughter was sick, and then I started to think, okay, is it detoxing or is it sick or is it COVID? Because that's the times we're living in right now, which
right.
adds a whole other level of anxiety. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
But you saw it through, which takes a great deal of strength. So another question I want to ask you is once you hit the light, so it's like we go through trudging through, a lot of the women struggled with giving up coffee, for example, for the first few days.
Yeah.
And then once they got through that initial period of not having it daily, and I think you posted this somewhere too, Angela, you said, it's not really the coffee that I miss, it's the warm mug of something. And I can still have that, and I can still have that warm cup of something, but it doesn't have to be coffee.
My tea bag?
Yes. Yeah. So that was this really is about shifting habits, right?
It is.
And taking.
Sorry. Yeah. It's the habits. I really started to question, is this habit or is this hunger? And try to break that down and get to the root of it. And some really simple swaps. If it's something that is like a ritual that you love, swapping out the one that's not so good for something that's a little bit better. You want a glass of wine while you're making dinner. Is it about the wine or is it about the ritual? Maybe some sparkling fruit water in the wine glass with a few berries is going to be a great placebo,
Yeah.
Maybe
that's a good point.
Bowl of
sometimes just
a bowl of chips.
Yeah, and having like that glass, the wine glass, and having something else in the wine glass can be enough of a switch for the brain to think it's getting what we think it wants, or it thinks it wants, but you actually don't need, right? Yeah.
So then when you choose the wine, you're choosing it mindfully as opposed to choosing it because of habit. And then you can really enjoy the experience, right? Instead of
I love that.
I do. Yeah.
I love that. Exactly. And then, there's a deeper appreciation for it rather than, just whatever it is. This process doesn't mean that you have to give up everything you love. That's definitely not what it's about. Mm-hmm. It's about shifting from a place of feeling out of control in life to a place of complete control and making decisions ahead of time and mindfully so that you can go live life in a more powerful and easeful way. You're in the driver's seat of your life. This challenge was just the catapult to get you from, being, I forget the term you used at the beginning, but just kind of hanging on with some habits into I've got this and confident in what you're doing.
Yes.
So I want to know a little bit about the weight loss aspect of things. So you set a goal in January for weight loss for 2020.
Yep, I wanted to reach it by, I think it was because it wasn't a huge change that I wanted, but I picked a number and was like, this is a good one. And anyhow, I kind of leveled off with it. I just got stuck in that final 5 pounds zone for a few months and could not break through that plateau. So, the challenge saw me through it and then blasted an extra couple of pounds off of that, which was pretty exciting. Now that I'm kind of 2 weeks out of it, 3 weeks out of it. Yeah. I've gone back up some, which I think is to be expected, because I have not maintained that level of detox cleanse. But I know now, because I've seen it and experienced it, I know I can reach that. It's attainable, it's achievable, it's not so elusive anymore, which is also empowering, right? Like, I have the tools within me to get to that number if I want to get to that number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good point too. Like when people come into this challenge, a lot of the time there is resistance because, you know, it's like, oh, you're taking away everything that I love. It's like, I'm not taking away anything. You can always go back to the way things were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You always have that choice, but this process helps you to create more automated, healthy choices rather than resistance. So when you're making your decisions, it's based out of a powerful place and not a place of lack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what you said to us at the beginning is to shoot for that solid B-.
Yes, a mentor of mine gave me that. A mentor of mine always said that as well. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. It works well for us A-typers that, you know, it's either all or nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, a solid B-.
Yeah, it helped me be kinder to myself through it. Forgive myself a bit if I was, you know, struggling or slipping, or, you know what, it's a B- day. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest takeaway from the challenge, or the biggest result that you saw?
You know, I'm going to say that probably the most lasting result is going to tie back to kitchen confidence, because I was very, well, you remember, I was very resistant and resentful of meal planning and cooking. And we had a conversation several months ago, and you said, well, you know, what if you shift your mindset around it, and it's not something that you have to do, but it's something you get to do. And I was so mad at you because I'm like, that's toxic positivity. You can't tell me to just change my attitude and it's going to be fine. But I had to sit with it for a long time. And slowly I started to accept, okay, this is something that has to be done. So can I look at this in a way that is without the resentment, without the resistance? And going through the challenge and knowing that there were certain ways I needed to prepare the food and the certain ingredients, it started to spark more creativity. And I started to appreciate and enjoy what I was doing more, and knowing that it was going to nourish my body and support me and help me reach goals that helped to start turn it around. And I went from being quite bumbly and angry in the kitchen to being able to have like something on the stove and something in the Instant Pot and something in the oven, and just like feel like I'm rocking it. Like I own this room.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of stuck. And a lot of the recipes that I stumbled upon for this challenge are like, they're consistent staples now. I'm consistently choosing that type of food over the other type of food, or convenient, or but you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm really proud of my growth for that. The kitchen has never been a happy place for me, and I would say I'm starting to appreciate it a lot more.
Awesome. That is a big takeaway. That is a big takeaway for sure. And I'm sure a lot of people out there too can relate, especially on busy weeknights with family, with activities, with all the things. And then, you know, the kitchen's just looming at us. Like, what are you going to do with me tonight? Right?
Yeah. Well, and planning is everything. Holy cow. Yeah. So I started, like, I'm doing more online grocery shopping so that I can find the most convenient times to get that chore done. And then it's really specifically aligned with what I've planned out for the meals. So that helps with food, and that helps with money, right? Less impulse purchasing.
Totally.
Yeah.
It also helps because you by doing that, you are controlling the environment in which you are planning, cooking, eating in, right? Because you're eliminating some of those outside things, such as going to the store, maybe grazing around, picking up snacks that you might not have otherwise, by really tightening up your boundaries with online shopping. It's saving you time as well. So you have more time to do your food prep and planning for your healthier meals.
Mm-hmm. And I know I still have a long way to go, right? Like 10 days is not gonna magically undo 42 years of how you've been doing something. But I know that I have that ability, and I have the tools in my toolkit to keep moving forward in a healthier trajectory if I want to continue doing that. So yeah, when you say about things that you can control, like there is so much of life that is outside of our control, and it can get so overwhelming. It's been really good for me to find more things and more ways that I can make choices that help me keep a sense of control. Because there are things that we can, right? There's lots that we can. Lots that we can. Yeah.
There's lots that we can control. We can't control circumstances, but we can always control how we respond to those circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. And if we're wanting to see lasting change in life, then it's about powerfully making those decisions and creating environments that support that, rather than living within environments that create resistance, temptation, resentment, because then that pulls our mind into that lack state of being.
Yeah. So. And asking for help when you need it, right? Because sometimes you really can get stuck and feel very overwhelmed and fight, flight, freeze, right? You just shut down. So knowing that there are people and places where you can turn and ask for help, it doesn't all have to be on your own.
Right.
And the group challenge was great for that.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So anyone listening out there on YouTube land or Facebook land, if you're wanting to know more or you're curious about what this Food Fix Challenge is, you can hop on over to genevievemoroney.com/food fix. Let me see if I will do just a sec. I'll put a little thing up on the screen. .com food fix, and see if that'll work. There we go. We're running the next Food Fix Challenge starting on April the 12th, and it will run until April the 21st. It's a super supported process. So if you're struggling with physical symptoms like tired all the time, bloating, hard to lose the last few pounds, lack of sleep or poor sleep, brain fog, skin issues, joint pain, aches, migraines, like there's so many symptoms that you might not relate to your nutrition. So this is just a good process to go through to learn that knowledge for your own body. And you might pick up a few more tidbits along the way as well. Like Angela said, there's journaling that is involved if you choose for it, just for some deeper self-discovery. There's group calls. There's a private forum for the group challenge as well. There's so much involved. So rather than just rambling on and on and on about it, if it's something you think you might be interested in, go check out the website, genevievemoroney.com/food fix. All the details are there and how you can get involved in it. I do suggest hopping in around before or by April 1st, because as a bonus, there will also be some pre-challenge prep to get you ready and set up for success as we head into the 10 days. So any last comments, Angela?
I don't think so, Jen. I am very grateful for you. I'm grateful for the group that you've created, and I'm grateful for the journey I'm on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you hopping on. I just thought so much about your takeaways and, the process that you went through with this, and people just need to hear it because it's very, very relatable. Mm-hmm. We don't have to live in these states of mediocrity or in lack mindsets. So you've been a really great testament to that and how you can shift the power back into your hands. So awesome work.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Yes, very on.
All right. And if you're catching the replay, just drop a hashtag replay, drop a Yahoo for Angela and all of her success. And yeah, come join us in the next Food Fix Challenge and see where the changes can take you. All right. I'll let you go. We'll sign off and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye.